I know that the Leader of the House prizes democracy, one of this country's greatest exports. So will he agree with me that it does not deserve the treatment it was given in the Queen's speech? The government proposes to restrict the right to vote by requiring photo identification, yet a mere 0.00002%, I thank the member of Ogmore for that figure, of the number of votes cast in 2019 was found to be fraudulent. The reason given for this attack on democracy: one conviction, Mr Speaker, out of over 47 million votes. Ministers have said, well, we have to pick up ID. We have to have ID to pick up a package. We should for voting. But 3.5 million people don't have photo ID. And in any case, these ministers are clearly not picking up their own parcels, as they would know then that many forms of ID without photos are indeed accepted. So will the Leader of the House please explain to his own constituents why they can't vote by giving their name to a clerk and being counted by a teller, when that is how their own MP votes in this place, in normal times at least? Will he join me in saluting the respect the British public has for democracy and reconsider this government's reckless, expensive and anti-democratic decision?
And it is important that elections are fair and proper. The Honourable Lady mentioned that we don't have to prove who we are when voting in the division lobbies in normal circumstances, but she is forgetting that we are not allowed to wear overcoats in the division lobbies just in case we send somebody through to vote in our place, or indeed, as Mr Speaker helpfully says, hats. So therefore there are requirements in this place to prevent personation, and surely what is good enough for the House of Commons to prevent personation is right, but at the moment, though we get a wonderful heckle, we are using our identity cards to vote. So the honourable gentleman isn't right on this occasion, and most unusual lapse in his normal attention to the detailed procedures of the House. So having a photographic identification is ensuring that a problem doesn't arise. This country has an electoral system of which people can be proud and of which people have confidence. We mustn't allow that confidence to slip. We don't want hanging chads and then to deal with it afterwards. We want to stop hanging chads happening before that becomes an issue. And before personation becomes a risk, it is only reasonable to ask people to turn up with their photographic identification or get it from their local council so they can vote. And I fear it's absolutely classic of the socialists. They don't have any confidence in their own voters. Whereas we have confidence in our voters because we think our voters will not find it unduly onerous or taxing to turn up with an identity document of some kind.
Let's go to Alison Thewliss. Alison.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. The Scottish Parliament has extended the franchise first to 16 and 17-year-olds and most recently to all new Scots with leave to remain and refugee status. And last Thursday saw a record turnout, which was a victory for democracy as well as for the SNP. The Leader of the House says that his voters might be able to afford ID, but many across the country will not. So can we have an urgent statement on exactly why the UK government is seeking to suppress and restrict electoral participation with their offensive, unevidenced and exclusionary photo ID rules?
Mr Speaker, the Honourable Lady may want to consult Hansard, because I pointed out that councils will make ID available for free to people who do not have suitable identification documents, and 98% of people, I believe, already do. And the franchise will be extended in the bill that we bring forward to ensure that people living overseas don't lose their votes over 15 years. So I hope the Honourable Lady will support that further extension of democracy.